everyone, back to Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with another Rumour Has It video talking about players linked to the football club. This coming transfer window, this January transfer window is massive for Newcastle United. We definitely need players in, but apparently money is tight thanks to the FFP restrictions. But we have been linked to a centre forward and a very informed centre forward. I'll let you know exactly what I think about this link in a minute. Just before we do, little reminders. We always say, if you haven't already, smash subscribe. We'd love you to come and join us. We're over 6,100 subs now, so we're moving closer to 6,500 subs. They're not 7. Thank you so much to everyone who smashed that button. No free content, nevermore. But if you do want to give a bit back to the channel, there is a members option there too for you. Smash whichever button suits you best for all the transfer links that you're just about to watch, as well as match previews, post-match analysis, everything else you could possibly imagine, all Newcastle United related, and the odd rant about football in general if it pisses me off, which generally a lot of things do. So let's get stuck in. And who am I talking about right now? I'm talking about the centre forward, as I said, who has been linked to the football club. Now, I don't know whether this is just journalists being lazy or it's agents trying to get improved contracts or whatever it is, but this is the lad we're talking about right now. It's Dominic Solanke. Now, Dominic Solanke, has to be said, is having the season of his life. You can see there he scored 12 goals in 18 appearances. Phenomenal strike rate for the centre forward. And you can see through his career, he's always been a bit of an also man as Solanke. You know, started off at Chelsea, didn't really work from there, went out on loan to the Dutch League of Tees, you know, and he got 7 goals in 25 appearances. Then he got a big money move to Liverpool, didn't work out from there. He ended up at Bournemouth, and he's been all right. He's not really, you know, set the world on fire, but this season, you know, he seems to be, everything he touches seems to go in the back of the net. You know, he got a brace against us. He was brilliant against us. Scored against Villa, scored against Manchester United, scored against West Ham. And he looks really good in terms of, if you were just looking at him in isolation this season, you'd be like, wow, what a player this guy is. You know, he's big, he's strong, he's got a nice burst of speed over 10 yards. He's got great control as well, and his instinctive finishing and his movement this season has been phenomenal. Some of the goals he's got, and where he's popped up and beating the defense, beating the offside traps, you know, it just real good centre forward play. However, I don't think this is a particularly good move for Newcastle United, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But let's have a look at the stats there. As you can see, the big thing for him is he's 26-year-old. So what Newcastle United are trying to do, by all accounts, is to look for a long-term successor for Callum Wilson, from what I gather. Callum's obviously 31 now. He's probably going to have another 2 or 3 years maximum left in him. We need to come up with a plan B and somebody to really take the mantle away from Callum Wilson. Solanke is somebody who apparently is on the radar, as well as Evan Ferguson down at Brighton, who's just signed a new deal. It cost you big money to get him away from Brighton. The goals have dried up for Ferguson recently, though, as well. So maybe we're seeing that Ferguson potentially isn't quite that player we all thought he was going to be. Maybe he'll come back strong. I don't know. We'll keep an eye on that. But he's a lot younger than Solanke as well. But look at the stats for Solanke, as you can see there. So in his goals kind of ratio there, he's in the, you know, the 57th percentile. His XG is up in 62. His shots, he's up in 78th. Assists isn't not bad at all for a centre forward, to be fair. He's on the 61st percentile. Touches in the area, he's in the high 80s. Progressive carries also in the 80s, and carries into the areas in the 80s. So he does like to drop deep a bit, run with the ball, and carry it a little bit, which is good for our kind of style of play. But the issue that I have with him really is, I think he's going through a purple patch, and we already have too many purple patch players in this football club. You can see how he compares to Callum Wilson on the side there. Callum Wilson basically eclipses him on most of the main key attributes that you would see in terms of the stat radar. Now, it sounds like I'm being really harsh to Dominic Solanke, but the figure they're talking about is 35-40 million plus. You know, his contract expires in 2027, as you can see there. He's only on 50 grand a week, so I'm sure Newcastle could offer him more money, but Bournemouth would want big money from 40 million quid or something like that. Is this guy any better than, say, Ivan Toney, for example? I don't think he is. I just think he's going through a purple patch period at the moment, much like Miguel Almiron did last season. Do you really want to go and spend 40 million quid on this player when financial fair play is so tight that you've got to be very, very careful who you buy? We saw what happened with Sandro Tonali. We spent 50 million quid on Sandro Tonali in a position where he plays that we probably didn't really need to sign a player in. We had enough cover there. We needed a defensive midfielder, which Tonali is not. He can play there, but he doesn't want to play there. So in terms of the centre forward, that's a key position. So we have to spend right in that area. And I'm just not sure Dominic Solanke is going to get any better than he is this season. You know, so what happens if you go and drop 40 million quid on the guy and he doesn't do anything, he regresses? You know, if you remember, Leon Best had a brilliant purple patch with us when Andy Carroll was sold, and we all thought Best was the answer, and then he faded away just as much as he burned brightly in the first few games. And I feel like this will happen to Solanke. I feel like he'll revert back to that kind of also ran one in 10 or 1 in 11 striker, rather than this ridiculous strike rate that he's got right now. And I don't want to sound like I'm being harsh to the lad. He's 26 years old. He's kind of coming towards the peak years of his career. If he continues on season after season, I will eat my words gladly. But I don't think Dominic Solanke really is the answer. And I really hope this is just lazy journalism. Eddie Howe signed him at Bournemouth. Eddie Howe's a Newcastle manager now. Newcastle need a centre forward to take the load off Isak and Wilson and eventually replace Wilson. This is an easy link for the journalists to throw out there. But let us know in the comments below what you think about Dominic Solanke. Not for me. I want to aim for better, bigger or better. I either want somebody proven or I want somebody, like Gerasi in the Bundesliga who's scoring loads of goals over there. And you can see his progression of goals. It hasn't just went bang out of nowhere. It's kind of gone season after season after season. He's got better and better and better. And you can see now he's kind of at the pinnacle of where he needs to be. And that's the kind of centre forward that I think we should be signing, really. Not somebody who's been a bit of an also-ran. Dominic Solanke's probably got about another 2 or 3 years before he starts to tip away from that peak. I'm not sure he will get any better than he is right now. Maybe I'm being harsh, but let us know in the comments below what you think about Solanke, whether you'd be happy to have him at Newcastle United, or if you think, like me, he's just going through a bit of a purple patch and you'll probably revert back to type fairly soon. But there's loads of people getting linked to the football club, especially in key areas like the striking position. So we'll make sure we'll cover as many of them as we possibly can on the channel, running through the stack computer. Obviously, let you guys know what we think about that particular move. But we always like to hear from you, as I say. Smash a comment in. We do our best to reply. And as I mentioned at the start, if you haven't already, smash subscribe. We'd love you to come and join us. We're over 6,000 subs now, thanks to you wonderful people. Loads of room for you if this is the first time you're checking us out. Loads of content to consume, certainly over the coming weeks with the transfer window about to open in January. And by God, we need some players in. Have a cracking day, everyone. And we'll see you later. Cheers. Bye.